II. I can discuss this now with writer and political commentator Avigdor Eskin joins me on the line. Avigdor, the film did cause controversy when it was first on display, but why has it taken all this time now for the authorities to get involved?
Well, somehow it was brought to wide public knowledge by the British press, and some Israeli and Jewish groups became really disgusted, outraged. I mean, it's really a soul-tearing experience to see how they brought some people. I mean, it's kind of perversion, of course, to the. We're talking about what? We're talking about a kind of orgy and in the concentration camp. I mean, it's even disgusting to talk about it. I think what's important is first to realize that there's nothing new in Poland. As you know, in the cities of Kletz and Jedwabne, there are hundreds of Jews murdered in 1945, after they returned from concentration camps, after the Second World War. And it's not new from Poland. We remember Gamulka and we remember many other things. But in our days, we see in Poland constant attempts to rewrite the history of Second World War. And there is a very strong feeling also in Israel that it's becoming more and more cheap. I mean, maybe the time had come to just totally destroy all these sites of former concentration camps. There's nothing holy about them. But as long as they exist, of course, such humiliation cannot be just, be tolerated by any one of us. Remember that not long ago, Poland excluded Russia from participating in this project to commemorate, by the way, one of the most glorious rebellious actions against the Nazis by concentration camps inmates in Soviet war. Polish government decided to put Russia away, although there are many Russian officers, soldiers were there who participated in this glorious rebellion. We also see that some graves of Soviet soldiers who liberated Poland from Nazi occupation were not kept properly, and some of the sculptures removed. This whole policy, together with what we see today in the Baltic states and in Ukraine, is very much worrisome.
There's no doubt, Avigdor, I just wanted to say there's no doubt that it's caused offence, but the director of the museum says those who are unhappy, they've missed the point. Can you see what the point they were trying to make was? Was there a point, do you think?
Well, the point is that if you see such an obscenity, you protest, and you cannot tolerate such humiliation of memory of those people murdered in this concentration camp. Most of them were Jews, some of them, by the way, Russian soldiers, some of them were Polish partisans, etc. We are talking about not just lack of sensitivity, I mean, it's funny to talk about it even, but the whole atmosphere in Poland of rewriting Second World War history. And if you will add to this very violent and aggressive ultra-right, almost fascist demonstrations which took place there recently, it doesn't sound good. Just by the way, recently there was one was kind of guest house announcing that Jews are not allowed to enter. I can give numerous examples of all kinds of very weird, strange events in Poland which show that instead of keeping the memory, and Poland was one of the countries which suffered from Nazism. Poland suffered, not only Jews, Polish people suffered a lot during that time. And not to keep this memory and not to do the utmost to join others alongside with those from America, Russia, England. I mean, it's inconceivable.
Avigdor,
by the way, the state of Israel...
I really do sincerely apologise, just that we are running over at this point. I've done my best to try and let you finish for that. Appreciate you coming on, but we'll have to leave it there. Avigdor Eskin, writer, political commentator, my guest.